The final criminal act was committed 30 minutes after the first victim was murdered. The perpetrator was cornered by the police on the rooftop and arrested. The murder weapon was described as a large pair of industrial scissors. To be precise, it was only half of a pair of pinking shears. The perpetrator used only one of the blades to commit the murders. The other blade was never found, even after a thorough search carried out by the police at the hospital and the perpetrator's home. The motive for the crime remains unknown. While in custody, the perpetrator throughout the whole of the investigation didn't respond at all to questions from the police or public prosecutors. However, a single phrase alone was spoken, one which could be considered something of a clue. Right before her arrest, she had muttered something as she dropped her blood-stained blade.
Where is self?
Those were the details of the Awazumi Municipal Hospital indiscriminate murder case. Her name was Inubushi Keiko. Her age at the time of the incident? 17. She was 19 now. Even though she was a minor, a crime so brutal would normally result in a severe penalty, which she would have no way of avoiding. However, her circumstances differed from the norm. In the end, she was found innocent. The final verdict of the Administration of Justice stated that Inubushi Keiko was suffering from DID, dissociative identity disorder. That is to say, multiple personalities. Penal Code Article 39. Number 1. Those suffering from insanity will not be prosecuted. Number 2. Those who are mentally handicapped will receive a lighter sentence. She is currently being held for observation at a certain medical facility. Specified Psychiatric Hospital for Isolation and Aegis. Alias, Spia. That is my journey's destination. I got on this plane for the purpose of meeting her. Inubushi Keiko. No matter how many times I read that file, it always makes me shiver inside. I guess if you could major in criminal psychology, it'd be necessary to accept the reality of what happened objectively and calm. But the emotions that were burning within my chest weren't something I could easily suppress. Without any hesitation, that girl had killed many innocent people in the cruelest, most perverse ways imaginable. She had even taken the lives of innocent children who had never harmed a single soul. No matter how crazy she was, I just couldn't bring myself to forgive her for what she had done. To be honest, I was filled with an intense hatred for Inubushi Keiko. The elementary school student murdered back then was just 9 years old. If he were still alive, he'd be right around Yuni's age now. That thought made my chest tighten as I watched Yuni play on innocently.
In the corner of the room, engulfed in darkness, a young girl sat on the floor, hugging her knees. Her tiny back trembled ever so slightly. She was sobbing quietly. a young boy put his hand on her shoulder. She glanced up at the boy with her tear-filled eyes and flung herself into his arms, embracing him tightly, as if afraid he'd disappear the moment she let go.
I'm scared. I'm so scared.
She kept crying as she held on to him with all her strength. The boy gently ran his fingers through her hair.
It's okay,
he whispered softly into her ear.
There's nothing to be afraid of. Because no matter what happens, I'll be here to protect you.
No. That's not it.
The words left her trembling lips as she nervously shook her head.
What I'm afraid of is myself. The person I'm afraid of is myself.
Still, I'll protect you forever. You'll see.
That's impossible. There's no way you could. Because I... Ow.
Her slender fingers dug deep into the boy's back.
I'll kill you too. Abruptly, there was an unexpected noise, and then the inside of the plane lost gravity. The file on my lap slowly floated into the air before me, pages fluttering as if to take off, and then fell from midair with a thud, as though tired and gasping for air. But before it could recover, the file crashed abruptly to my feet. The plane felt like it was drifting on ice. As soon as that thought crossed my mind, the plane was once again pulled down with a frightening strength, as if it wanted to take us down into the bowels of the earth. Screams could be heard from every direction whenever the cabin shook. And mingled with the screams, an undercurrent of fear saturated the air.
Kokoro, I'm scared.
Yuni clung tightly to my chest. I placed my arm around his shoulder and tried to calm him down. You know what? Last year, over a period of just 365 days, do you know how many people died in traffic accidents in Japan? Nearly 1,000. Earthquakes, typhoons, lightning bolts, and avalanches took 128 lives. The number of people that die every year from accidents at sea is over 1,000. The average number of people that are murdered is 1,250. So, you know, compared to that, the chances of an airplane getting in an accident and crashing are 0.0001%. Do you know what that means, Yuni-kun? In short, being in the air is much safer than staying down on the ground. Well, did that calm you down? Yuni didn't reply. He simply buried his face in my chest as he trembled all over.
The bell in the clock tower echoed solemnly. I checked my wristwatch. Just about 4 o'clock. The clock tower told the time with not a minute of deviation. A metallic sound that was like the coarse voice of an aged man alerted me of the hour at hand. The snow danced violently to the sound of the bell as the raging wind stirred it. Though what I saw were twinkling and sparkling particles of light. An infinite number of angels, dancing and rejoicing at the advent of a great gospel. Just wait. Just wait a little bit longer. Just a little bit longer, until you... A bolt of lightning streaked across the ominous sky. The sound of the holy bell was denied by a roar filled with rage. The thunder continued resounding in succession, 2 times, 3 times, and the earth shook in unison each time, letting out a hateful groan. The flashes illuminated the sky with pale light. Then, a shadow that I couldn't miss appeared in the light. The shadow came up from behind me and stretched toward my feet. Who's there?
The cabin of the plane pitched violently back and forth, as if giant waves were making sport of a small boat. The passengers, powerless to do anything, let out pitiful screams. In the midst of it were voices crying, voices screaming, voices praying. I looked out the window. I wondered when we had fallen to our current altitude. The world outside had turned a muddled gray. The tips of the airplane's wings went beyond the fog, covering my field of vision. The wings are now bending inward like a huge bow might, looking as if they could break off any second. I quickly pulled Yuni off me. I pushed him into his seat and tightened his seatbelt with all my strength. In case something happens, curl up like this, the way a pill bug does, okay?
In case something happens? What's something? Is this airplane gonna crash?
It's going to be alright. Everything's going to be alright, but just to be safe, okay?
No, no! I'm scared. Kokoro, Kokoro!
Yuni clung tightly to me once more. I forcefully pushed his shoulders back against his seat and tried to calm him down again. Yuni-kun, do One-chan a favor and please listen to what she says. Just stay there and don't leave your seat, understand?
Why? Why can't I? Kokoro, are you going somewhere? Don't leave me! Don't leave me all alone!
Don't be silly, I'm not going anywhere. Hey, even if I wanted to, there's nowhere else I can go now, right?
But...
Come on, be a man. Don't start crying on me like that. Look, I'll hold your hand, just like I promised, okay? I firmly clenched Yuni's hand. Large teardrops tumbled from Yuni's watery eyes. For an instant, a flash of lightning rushed through the sky outside the window. A thunderous snapping, crunching roar followed. I reflexively turned my eyes downward. The file was at my feet. The white page before my eyes was illuminated by the lightning.